Apparently, we've hit a new national crisis. Women have found yet another reason to justify their filing for divorce. And believe me, this one has to be seen to be believed. So sit down, brace yourselves, because this time it's all about having to.
I'm getting a divorce. Let me show you why.
Yep, you saw that right. She's filing for divorce because she had to pump her own gas. The poor thing. The humanity, the horror, the abuse of it all. I mean, seriously. She's acting like she had to drag a wounded soldier out of a battlefield. No, Cupcake. What you had to do was get your lazy ass out of the car to push a couple of buttons and twist the handle at Chevron. So calm down, Wonder Woman. If that's so hard for you to do, then you've got far bigger problems than you'll ever want to admit. And let me point out the obvious thing that every guy watching this is thinking, and that every woman is completely clueless about. If she files for divorce, she's still going to have to pump her own gas. I mean, yeah, I guess she could move to Jersey, but in the end, not only is anything going to not change, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get harder. Then again, that's exactly what women don't seem to realize when they do go to file for divorce. They think it will all magically get better. That is, until a few months later when they realize that life just got exponentially harder. Of course, that's when they make those videos sitting in their car crying about how hard life is and how they wish they hadn't done it. Well, sister, life's a bitch, and you are the one who created those problems. So you and only you get to own them. I mean, I know women don't think with logic and reason. I know women only go by feels, not facts. But are they really that clueless that they think, hey, I'll divorce his ass and then somehow my gas will magically get pumped for me? Apparently so. It's hilarious, and I don't know about you, but as I watched it, I was sitting there thinking, what, does she want a round of applause? Should I toss some confetti? Should I hand her a medal? What's the protocol here? What's the objective? I mean, I thought women were strong and independent boss bitches who can do anything. Yet, here we see that doing something as simple as pumping gas is so taxing, so hard, so overbearing, it's worth filing for divorce over. I mean, come on, man. She's over there narrating her struggle like it's some sort of National Geographic documentary.
Here we see the strong, independent, modern woman in her natural habitat, a victim of oppression being unfairly forced to have to bear the heavy burden and emotional labor of doing some actual work.
Ma'am, it's pumping gas. You aren't storming the beaches of Normandy. You aren't in the Hunger Games. You're not even in a final boss fight in The Legend of Zelda. You pumped a little gas. You pulled the trigger for, 17 seconds? And now you're acting like you're being forced to carry the suffering and burdens for all of womankind. I know, you poor thing. As I said earlier, the abuse, the suffering, the emotional toll of it all. Time to divorce his lazy ass. It is the epitome of how today's women think, feel, and act. And here's the wild part. This is the very same crowd yelling, I don't need a man. Yeah, sure, toots. That's only true up until the point the wind blows wrong, and then suddenly you're a damsel in distress at pump number 3. Ladies, I know you think this is some sort of flex. I know you'll look for any and every reason you can to justify filing for divorce. And you'll do anything to get clicks, likes, validation, and attention from complete strangers on the internet. But in the end, all you're really doing is showing the world exactly why it's your soon-to-be ex that is going to be the one who comes out the winner. No more dealing with your drama, your delusions, and your inane demands and expectations. No more dealing with your narcissism. If having to pump your own gas is your reason for filing for divorce, let's be honest here. You never loved him, you never cared about him, And you were certainly never committed to him, the relationship, or the marriage. You were simply using him. You didn't want a partner, you wanted a prisoner. A prisoner at your beck and call to do all the dirty work while you sat around on your lazy ass complaining about how hard you have it. This is exactly why men are done and walking away, because there's no point anymore. Not when women are showing men exactly who they are and how they think in videos like this. Sorry, cupcakes, but equality, relationships, and marriage don't come with a spa package. If you want the perks, you get the chores too. It's called being an adult, which we get isn't exactly in most women's wheelhouse these days. Sorry, darlings, but that is how life works. That is how reality works. Men do this stuff every day. Rain, snow, blazing heat, doesn't matter. We do it half asleep before work. We do it at midnight after work. We do it without pulling out a camera and performing a monologue about our emotional journey. We do it without whining, crying, and making a complete shit show out of it in order to play victim. But for women, well, as this woman is showing, one day of pumping gas leads to them filing class action complaints with the universe. Child, please. You're not oppressed. You're just inconvenienced. And I hate to break it to you, but that's not the same thing. Not even close. And fellas, listen up. Do not let these little princess problems make you second guess yourself as a man. You're not failing. You're not doing anything wrong. Some people, and that would be today's modern women, have become so entitled that they think adulthood is optional. But it's not. Responsibility is not gendered, and pumping gas is not a life-altering traumatic event. I mean, seriously, if that's the hardest part of her day, if that's her reason for filing for a divorce, she's not suffering. She's blessed. And she's showing she doesn't appreciate or acknowledge any of it. And she never will. Men, let me be clear here. Let me promise you this. If a woman breaks up with you because she had to pump her own gas one time, you didn't lose a partner. You dodged a full-time slave owner. And that slave was you.